Greetings everyone, my name is Black Witch Dirah. I am a Luciferian witch and occultist of the left hand path, as well as an occult educator. So, day 5, I think now, of the Halloween mini series I'm doing. You can tell I'm bulk filming, so I'm starting to lose my words, but yeah. So day 5, today I'm going to be talking about, are demons dangerous? I'm really excited to talk about this one, but before I go into that, as usual, a few announcements. Hexing 101, 3 days left to go until that is no more. Can't sign up to it after the 31st. You need to sign up for it before the 31st. So if that interests you, get on that right away. The Dark Arts Academy is open for the rest of October. We have a Samhain group ritual coming up next Tuesday on the 31st of October, so we would love to have you there for that. It is going to be a self-initiation ritual into the left-hand path, into demonology, into Luciferianism. It's kind of whatever you kind of want it to be, but we will be working with Lucifer as a guide and the main focus of the ritual to help initiate us onto this path. So if that interests you, the link is in the description. So is working with demons dangerous? Yes and no is the short answer. If you know what you're doing, no. If you know the correct protection and precaution methods to take, no. It can be extremely safe, and if I'm honest, I don't think demons are the main threat when you are doing like evocations or ritual work. For me, any kind of bad experiences that I've had, and they've been very few and far between, have been from any kind of tag-along trickster entities, because the thing is, when you are calling forth something from the other realms, they're not the only ones that hear you and see you and want to, you know, see what you're about and enter your space and say hi in some kind of way which may be relatively harmless or may not. So that's something to be wary of. When I take my protection and precaution methods, I'm not protecting myself against the demon, because I know that the demon doesn't have interest in harming me because I'm not that important, but it's the parasites that linger around that, you know, could maybe benefit from my energy. So that's the main danger that you know, got to be concerned about. In terms of demons themselves, dangerous, no. Scary, maybe. And this really depends on what you're ready for. So something that I stress a lot with the people that I teach is stamina. So your spiritual stamina, because when you are doing an evocation or ritual work, your body and your mind go into a different state. It's an altered state, and it can be very intense. It can be very draining of your energy at first. So you have to adapt to that over time, because the after effects can feel scary. It can kind of feel like you're losing your mind, or you can feel a bit dazed, or you feel really drained. This isn't dangerous. It's a side effect essentially, but you don't want to be feeling like that. So it's important that you stay within your depth, and it's important that you know how to open and close a ritual properly, so that the energy is contained and you're not carrying things with you, because that's gonna, you know, weigh you down. And obviously things like cleansing as well. Like, cleansing is so important, and I don't do enough of it. Like, I should take my own advice. It's also important to acknowledge your ability, your level of ability, because if you are a beginner in demonolatry and you go to evoke Lucifer or Belial, you are more often than not going to get the fright of your life. It's important that you ease into it. I remember my first evocation with Belial, I was fucking terrified because I wasn't ready for it at all. And I had to really kind of, I mean, Belial really made me get my shit together with my practice. So He's been a huge teacher on my journey and is one of the main demons that I work with. So, but you know, if you told me during my first evocation with Belial that this was going to be one of the main demons that walked with me on my path, I'd be like, I never want to fucking come across him again, because it terrified me. So but that doesn't mean it was dangerous. It didn't mean that Belial was going to do me harm. It meant that I just wasn't ready. You know, I was scared, and that fear didn't go away straight away. It was something that I really had to work through. Often when we feel scared during an evocation, it's usually something to do with us rather than something to do with the demon. And for me, I had to look at my perceptions of demons, not necessarily in an Abrahamic sense where I still had this conditioning where I was like, oh, demons are evil, demons are scary, that unconscious narrative that many of us carry. For me, it was more of my struggle to sit with divine masculine energy and to sit with an energy that felt very dominant and not authoritative, but just overwhelmingly powerful, right? And this was a lot to do with my past and the roles that men played in my life, and how uncomfortable I was with masculine energy, and how I'd never had a good role model, a good male role model. So when I kind of got one in a spiritual sense, it felt uncomfortable, it felt weird, I didn't like it, I felt like really out of my depth, and I felt like I had to morph into something else. I felt like I couldn't exist as I was. So when I say that our unconscious conditioning comes into this isn't just Abrahamic conditioning, this is conditioning from our childhoods as well. Like, I feel like a lot of us might view certain demons as kind of mother and father figures to an extent, and if you've got a kind of difficult relationship with your parents historically, then this can impact that, because it can impact your perception of the demon. So that's something to acknowledge and something to probably work through in shadow work. That's something I had to do. So that was something that, you know, kind of manifested as fear, and I wasn't really quite sure why I was feeling the fear, and I had to work through that. But going sort of back to the question, are demons dangerous? I mean, Hollywood will tell us yes, because the amount of films there are about possession and things like that. Possession, I think, nowadays is a rarity, and something that I bring up when talking about this with other people is the interesting correlation of the decline in recorded demonic possessions, but the increase in diagnosis of mental health problems, such as illnesses like schizophrenia and psychosis, and anything that will bring on hallucinations or various other symptoms, right? So I find that correlation quite interesting. I'm not saying that demonic possession is not a real thing, like, I believe it is, but like, if someone was to say to me, what if I get possessed? What I would say back is, why do you think a demon would want to possess you? Like, what's so special about you that you think your body is worth inhabiting? Like, what do you think the demon's going to be able to achieve through doing that? Because I promise you they've got better things to be doing. Their whole intent and motive is not to inhabit humans and roam the earth. I promise you they're perfectly fine and without us, and mostly completely indifferent to our existence anyway. So little old you is gonna be fine. In cases of demonic possession, I can't really see the likelihood of a high demon such as, I don't know, like Asmodeus, for example, was named in the possession of, I can't remember the word, it begins with an L, my brain has gone blank, but it was a group of nuns, and some of them got possessed or something, and Asmodeus was named as one of the culprits involved in that, right? I can't see a high demon like Asmodeus having a motive to do that, personally. That's just my opinion. However, like parasitic entities, you know, I wouldn't put it past them at all. So the question is, you know, if you've got a trickster spirit, of course they're going to tell you that they're something that they're not. So say, for example, in that situation it was a trickster spirit, why wouldn't they name themselves as Asmodeus? Like, that's exactly what they do. And then we can look at the dangers of the soul, if you like, if that's what you want to call it. You know, is my soul in danger from working with demons? I mean, all I can say is that my soul is okay, as far as I know. I'm not afraid of what's going to happen to my soul. I'm not afraid that my soul is in any way fragmented. I remember someone told me that I have a fragmented soul once. I was like, okay, thanks for the thanks for your viewpoint on that. But the dangers of your soul, I mean, it's really down to your own beliefs. If you believe that, then, and if that's your fear, don't bother working with demons. Maybe you need to go through some kind of deconditioning before you start doing this. But, you know, as a Luciferian witch, as someone that practices demonology, I have no fear for my soul. My soul is mine. But to sum up, demons have never made me feel like I'm in danger. Parasitic entities, however, I have felt in danger. I have felt threats from things that I didn't call into my space. I'm not saying that working with demons has never been overwhelming or scary. Of course it has. You have a whole being from a different realm in your space talking to you that you can sometimes see and hear. And, you know, what's not fucking intense and a little bit terrifying about that, right? But you get used to it, like, and you become accustomed to, you know, the spiritual stamina I was talking about. You know, you become accustomed to it. It's not something that feels dangerous. Once you're confident in knowing what you're doing, you don't feel in danger. I mean, if you are a beginner in this stuff, the first few times might feel dangerous. They might feel unpredictable, but your confidence grows. You learn what you're doing, and you know what? The demons encourage you to be more confident as well. They're like, you're good, you're fine, you know what you're doing, just keep going. So if anything, they've been supportive of me doing what I'm doing and helped me with it and helped to keep me safe. They've helped to keep me safer. So I'm going to end this video with, if you are interested in working with demons, we cover this in the Dark Arts Academy. We cover beginner, intermediate and advanced on how to work with demons safely and effectively. So if that is of interest to you, you can go check that out in the link in the description. Anyway, that is the end of the video, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Goodbye for now.